I'm Megan Mitchell. This is my co-host, John Morrison, and you are listening to the True North Racing Podcast.
Time to strap in, pull those belts, and get ready for an action-packed episode of the True North Racing Podcast. Are you ready to unmask? Unhelmet your favorite racers? Get ready for the most fun you'll have outside the racetrack to get you ready for the next race. You're listening to John Morrison and Megan Mitchell, and this is the True North Racing Podcast.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the final episode of 2024 for the True North Racing Podcast, presented by Driving With Hailey. I'm your host, John Morrison. Joining me is Brandon Feeney, and joining us is our longtime co-host, Megan Mitchell. Guys, how are you?
All right.
I'm doing pretty good. Just finished watching the NASCAR race.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that because there's some huge controversy there, and I'm looking forward to getting into that. But before we continue, we do have to. We're gonna save a lot of it for the end, but this is Megan's last show with us on the True North Racing Podcast. But she's not going far. We are just putting her back onto her original show, the Driver's Seat, which will be recording on Tuesday, so I should have that up for Thursday. So let's introduce our newest co-host for 2025. Brandon Feeney will be joining us, coming over from the Feeney call.
Yeah, it's great to come back over here after, I think it was a month ago shutting my podcast down, and now we're popping over to True North and combine and conquer, and Megan's going to do awesome things with Kate, and even though she says she's too good for us, but
I know she's always saying she's the star of the show.
I know, right?
That's why she's getting her own with Kate.
That's why we got to kick you back off to this. We can actually call it the sister show, really.
Yeah,
because it's two females hosting it, and it's the sister of our show. So yeah, we're good.
Literally.
That's it. We're just kicking you back over to your own show. Which, don't bring me into it. I'm just producing. That's the only thing. You guys, the only thing I'm going to come in for is for the checkers or wreckers.
We'll see.
I'm going to get this accidental invite to the Driver's Seat Podcast and just come crash it.
Oh boy. That'll just be a run of the 2 hours, just nothing getting done, guaranteed.
Inmates running the asylum. And try
right.
to kick it into it so that way he can't tell us no, we can't have our conversation.
But since racing season is kind of now over, except for the one more NASCAR race, and the All-American 400 went this past weekend, but here in Canada, we're kind of hunkered down now for the rest of the year. A couple weeks ago, last week actually, we all had the opportunity to go to Humberstone Speedway for the final event ever. What did you guys think of that?
That was so cool. I'm not going to lie. I'm surprised nobody got hurt as far as I know. Because that, there was some wild stuff going on, but that was cool.
Yeah. EVA Destruction's been pure chaos. I've loved those events ever since playing the video game EVA Destruction on PS2.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be part of one. Unfortunately, plans fell through for me to actually drive, and I was taking pictures, and I think I stopped taking pictures around the trailer race because I couldn't see anyone.
It's fair.
Yeah, it was. It got really, really dusty there, but I did. So funny enough, the video that I put out on TikTok, of the trailer race, first lap with that Dodge going right through the back of the camper trailer.
That was amazing.
And flying off into the field. He did comment on the video. He's like, he's like, oh, I was in the Dodge. I'm like, dude, how are you feeling today? because that was such a hard hit.
Oh, yeah,
Going
he
through the
didn't
trailer was fine. It was when he hit that ditch at the edge of the farmer's field.
Yeah.
Especially just wearing the normal seatbelt and the normal seat. There's nothing to hold you in.
Yeah, not a proper racing seat or anything like that. That he took a lot of the impact, but he did say that he was sore, but he'll be just fine. So I'm sure we might see him back at it again, another Ego Destruction.
I could be wrong, but like there's somebody sitting like just behind me in the pits, and they said the guy's name, and they're like, I'm gonna guarantee that he's gonna try to drive right through that camping trailer. And when the Dodge went through the camping trailer, they're like freaking out. They're like, oh my god, he did it. So it's like, it seems like it was intentional. Like, he very well meant to do that. I could be wrong, but that's just what I pieced together. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, that's kind of the rules of the trailer races. Either win with your trailer intact or eliminate everyone else's trailers.
Yeah.
So you can either go for speed or chaos, and he chose chaos.
On lap 1, which was awesome.
You can't win the show, be the show.
Why not take that like Chevy Malibu with the 70-foot trailer in back? Like,
that was my favorite thing ever. Everyone in the grandstand was cheering that thing on.
Oh, I like the wheelchair.
Well, that's the best thing is you have this Dodge Ram with the smallest trailer I've ever seen in my life, and a Malibu Max 4-cylinder with like everything behind it. And like, just trade for like 10 minutes, guys.
Yeah. Her buddy with the boat trailer and a whole ass boat.
Oh my god.
I'm like,
and then
why?
lost it off the start.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Redneck Olympics.
But hey, Megan, when we were talking to Jillian, that's exactly what she said.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny enough that, you know, that was the first ever time I went to an Eva Destruction. Jacqueline loved it. She looks at me and goes, I kind of want to do this. I'm like, I'm sure I could probably find somebody who would put you into the ladies race next year.
Yeah. And you don't even need a suit. You just need to have like sweater and pants.
If you think I'm going to let her go out there in a sweater and just jeans or something like that, you're dead wrong.
If you think you control Jacqueline, you're dead wrong.
No, I will make sure she gets a proper fire suit, helmet, everything, because I'm not sending her out there.
I feel like Jacqueline would jump on the chance to wear the whole.
You won't even know that she's in the car. She's just gonna wave at you and be like, "What the? I thought you were getting popcorn."
It's gonna be like Tegan Ellis. Like, I didn't know Tegan was out there running until she popped out in victory lane there, because I was like, "Oh, Jillian's got this. She's gonna do great." And then I see this 42K come out of nowhere. I'm like, "Who the is driving?" I'm like, they know how to race. Like, that's not just someone's other half. Like, this person knows how to race. And I see her pop out. I'm like, is that Tegan? Like, I think that's Tegan.
Yeah, she was in Leo Lababera's car.
Yeah.
The only rule of driving one of Leo's cars is put on a show.
Yeah.
Win the show or be the show, right?
Exactly.
It's normally both for those cars.
Any of Leo's cars, absolutely. And that's why we all love Leo, though. He's such a character, and we love him.
I still want that La Bamba nickname to catch on, but it hasn't worked yet.
No, not yet. Hopefully it catches on. It'd be great. As we go on here, with the racing season over, how are you guys dealing with the withdrawal from going to the track?
Well, Friday. So Saturday, yesterday was the first Saturday. I thought we didn't have plans. Apparently we did. But Friday, I didn't know that. So I started getting this like wicked anxiety about midday, which usually I get on Fridays prior to race day. But this was like a different anxiety. And I realized at the end of the day, it was because I had nothing on Saturday. Or I thought I had nothing. Like, I had no racing or anything. It was the first Saturday since race season that I haven't had anything. So I'm like having this anxiety and this withdrawal. And I'm like, it was weird. I'm like, I can't believe this is actually happening. Like, it's kind of sucking right now.
I just went and bought more die casts. I was supposed to be stripping the Modify, get the stickers off it, so I get ready for paint in like 2 weeks. And I seen shiny, and I bought it.
Sometimes you gotta treat yourself every now and then. Um, I know it's been a little tough on my end not going to the racetrack. And obviously, like, we're all kind of 1 week removed realistically from going to the track. So like it hasn't really set in yet. But like it kind of has in the sense of like, you know, last time Flamborough raced was September 14th for regular season, and then for Oktoberfest on October 5th and 6th. We're now 1 month away from that. Like the last time I went to Flamborough was September 14th. So like there's a huge gap.
Well, me and Megs went to the Frosttoberfest, so we enjoyed that.
Yeah, I there was a chance I could have, but I decided against it. But
he was afraid of losing the foot race again, Megan.
Nah, that was such a fun time though. But that's kind of what we're on here to talk about, is kind of reliving some of our favorite moments from 2024. We just talked about the foot race real quick, but that was a really fun way to kind of kick off the season as well.
And that was the first time we've all been at the track at the same time since we've all kind of started working together too. So it was kind of...
Yeah, and that it was, and I just wanted to go grab a photo on the front stretch of the three of us, and you know, then I was like, Jacqueline, get in here, and then Rachel took a couple photos of herself before she took photos of the four of us. But you know, it was good that all three of us were there to be able to, you know, Feeney was there taking photos, I was there doing my thing, Megan was there doing her thing of being behind the wheel, and it was nice that we were at the end of the night we were all able to hang out and even go out into the front stretch, and then deciding to race.
Yeah, that was fun.
And I kind of wish I put some money on that first one.
Well, you didn't want to bet on the second one?
No. So I didn't know how fast you were. So I knew I had a good shot in that first one.
To be fair, though, I didn't know how fast I was going to be because I was like 1 week from being underneath the NASCAR Canada Series car.
Yeah.
So that was a rough start to the year.
Yeah. Yeah, so what happened? Like, can we talk about that, or is NASCAR Canada going to come after us?
I mean, I don't think they can. It's my body, my choice, right? Like, did you just spit your water?
She almost did.
Almost.
Like, they can't really be mad at me. I didn't get a non-disclosure agreement about anything about it.
You didn't have to sign an NDA or anything?
No. And it was just like a weird fluke accident. We're working on the 88 car there at CTMP. We had an oil leak. I was under there cleaning it up, and I think it was someone's steering wheel came off the car while it pushed into the pits, and it just nicked the back of our car off the stands, and I turned into a jack stand.
God.
I got a pretty cool scar from the sway bar though, so that's pretty cool.
It's always good when you have a good scar to tell the story with, eh?
Yeah, as long as I got the scar to tell the story, then it actually happened.
Yep.
But yeah, if that car stayed running or if it moved like another inch, I wouldn't be here for the conversation today. Because like my head was probably about an inch away from the motor.
Yeah.
And luckily, when we got pushed off the stands, the first thing Simon did was shut it down.
Yeah.
And because I put my arm over my ribs, because if anyone's ever had a broken rib before, they know how much it sucks. So I'm like, I'd rather break my arm and deal with a broken left arm than deal with a broken rib. So I put my arm over my ribs, which bought me like enough of the space to not worry about it. Like I said, it's a freak accident. It happens. Hell, people get more hurt walking across the road sometimes. But we ended up breaking a gas pedal off because it fell on the stands and stuff like that. I actually went home like 10 minutes after getting from underneath the car, stealing the part off my modified to come back, and he raced the weekend with my modified gas pedal bracket. So
that's all right.
Yeah.
But again, you got a really cool story to tell from it. You're here, which is good. And you know what? Even one of your parts went around CTMP.
Yeah, at least one part of the car raced last year. Well, actually two parts, but the second part didn't do so well.
Yeah. Uh, and then, of course, going through the year, Megan, it was really good to see you get back out and run a full season.
Mm-hmm.
You were improving week in and week out, small victories, and that's all that mattered.
Yeah. That's all it was about this year, so.
How are we planning for next year already?
Go big or go home. I'm over the small victories. I'm over the anxiety. Like I've thought
That's
a lot.
what we need to hear.
And like
Megan Mitchell's going for wins.
yeah, I'm like, you know what? 2021 Megan is coming back, but with respect, because 2021 Megan was not respectful at all, and I'm willing to admit that. Like,
you know what? Not many drivers can admit if they messed up.
I messed up bad.
But you learn from it.
Exactly.
If you're not learning from anything you do,
yeah,
are you really getting better?
I don't think so. You have to admit your faults to get better, to learn. So,
oh yeah,
that's what I've done, and I just need to have that fearlessness again, and that's what I'm going for.
Let's go-kart racing.
Oh God,
I can get discounts at Volt. Just saying, I know a guy, and they're honestly, without trying to do like a shameless plug here. So you drive K1, the steering is like super heavy.
Yeah.
And like it actually wears you out. Where Volt you can run all day and it doesn't really bug you.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Well, and Volt has, like I said, I'm not trying to do a shameless plug here, but they had the grand opening yesterday. I was there supporting a friend who runs there. They sponsor a bunch of race cars and stuff like that with the bounties and a couple other cars. So they have like that gel ball blaster thing so you can shoot people. You have axe throwing. They have an arcade. They have 2 go-kart tracks. They have like a kids or like a fun track. And then they have the we're going to go nuts and try to go fast track. And then now they're like working on putting bowling lanes in the same place. So it's becoming like a whole venue. Like this is going to be like one of the places to be out this way. So it's like, and they have like a party room and stuff like that. So yeah.
Where is it?
It's in Bowmanville.
I think I found where we're going to host our 2025 end of season finale fun.
Yeah.
At this rate.
Yeah, I'm just saying they also sponsor drivers, and we can't go against businesses that help drivers out.
Exactly. Exactly. I want to make my way out there and go check it out because it looks like it's actually a pretty fun place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, if you guys are coming out, let me know. I'll meet you guys there, and we'll race in hell.
Maybe I need to put a GoPro on my helmet.
I think. Yeah, they don't have the helmets that you actually have, but we all have helmets, so you're allowed to run.
Exactly. We'll bring our own helmets. Like, are you kidding me? That's how you know you're a racer.
Well, the best part is when you guys show up, I'm going to be on a whole different speed level than you guys. Because, so what happens is you have to get under a 44-second lap time on the fast track before they'll allow you to bump up speeds.
Okay.
So.
God damn it, I'm too fat for it then.
No, because Paul Bounty, like Canada's strongest man, is running like 42-second lap times on those speeds. But anyway, so once they bump you up, so I went from like 43.8, 43.9 and stuff like that, just like screwing around in regular traffic.
Yeah.
Because it was grand opening, so we're like 14 carts. We had, so I'm not trying to say this badly, but we had one person with special needs that had no control of their legs.
Yeah.
So they were very unpredictable to pass. So like stuff like that I enjoy thoroughly because like you get to learn split seconds decision just like you would a real race car.
Oh yeah.
And there's no better way to get than people have never raced before. So like I'll jump in like a bone stock for no good reason or like and then all of a sudden I don't know everyone I'm racing with and it's like all right, unpredictability test is like they're going left now. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. I've always loved go-karting because you're right. You can learn so much of a different racecraft while running it, and it could actually help you keep a little bit sharper when it comes to your next season. Yeah. In my opinion, I've never raced, so I don't freaking know.
You got to once.
I was slow and I was around the bottom.
And around.
I did go around a couple times.
You were fast enough to spin yourself out. So
one and a half times.
But yeah, it's one of those things. Like even this, they're running leagues and stuff like that for the winter too, which is basically filled up by half Peterborough Speedway guys.
Mm.
So I don't know if you guys.
I like that though. I like it when people have leagues like that.
Mhm.
Well, and the best part is every time we had a rain out at Peterborough this year, we all just went to vote.
Yeah, why not?
We're all like, we're going at 2:30, and 3 o'clock. Book your times. And then like they weren't even technically open yet. They were just like a soft open where like carts were open and like axe throwing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we were putting like 40 carts out there like for 3 hours.
Mm.
And it's
Why
weird.
not?
So like you go to most like tracks and like the go-karts run what they run. This track takes heat. These cars take heat, and it actually affects the cars huge.
Really?
Like we actually started rubbering the floor in on freaking Saturday.
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
So anyway, enough about Volt before they're gonna have to pay us for sponsorship. But.
You know what? They may want to, which would be good. So let's get into what happened at the NASCAR race today at Martinsville. I didn't get a chance. I watched maybe like 15 laps of it before dinner happened. And so I didn't really get to see a whole lot. And of course, Feeney started messaging me after the race is over, and the kids were getting picked up. So I haven't really been able to get a full look at this. So Feeney, you're going to have to tell us about it. What the hell happened in Martinsville?
All right, first off, Ryan Blaney drove his ass off and locked himself in by driving like from 6 seconds back or 3 seconds back, whatever they got, with like 50 to go to win the race, like through traffic, which at Martinsville, that doesn't normally happen.
No.
And he passed Elliott and Larson to do it. Like, it wasn't like he was passing like Cody Ware or freaking LaJoy or something like that stayed out. He was passing two other guys that had to lock themselves in. But the controversy happens when like 15 to go, Chastain and Dylan were running side by side behind Byron, who was 1 point to the good. So they ran there, even though it looked good. They were trying to they'd get beside him once in a while. You could tell they weren't giving it everything to pass Byron. However, with 2 to go, Wallace got a flat. We'll have to wait for actual see if that thing was flat on pit road or something like that to justify whether it was legit or Michael Waltrip racing style. And backed up like a lap and a half in distance in 2 laps to let Bell by him, which gave Bell the point he needed. But then Bell screwed up and then drove it into the wall and wall rode the entire distance of turn 4, which NASCAR then penalized him for a safety violation wall riding. And he is now out of the playoffs because of that. At this current time of recording at 7:06 on a Sunday. It may all change from here till next week when they race for a championship, but
yeah, that was I saw a video of Bell getting hot going into 3 and going up, bouncing off the wall. But of course, because of the whole deal with Ross Chastain a couple seasons ago, the wall riding had been deemed illegal. Like after that, it was put in the rule book that you're not allowed to do that. So I applaud NASCAR for first of all taking the time and actually looking over what had happened, looking at all the data that they receive instantly. It's not they need to go back 15, 30 minutes later. It's instantly. They can go look back at the throttle trace and what it's going because of the freaking SMT data. I applaud NASCAR for actually taking the time to actually make the correct call. And I wholeheartedly believe that's the correct call. Put Bell 1 lap down at the tail end of the lap cars. So you put him 22nd. I agree with that penalty. And they called it the night of. I don't want to wait till Tuesday for a call like that. That's too much time.
Mm-hmm.
But the Chevy deal, I saw the wall. What's the radio communication like? That's what we need to hear.
So they were talking over the radio and they played it while we were waiting for decision on the wall ride. That they were saying that Byron was 1 point to the good, but they never said don't pass him. They never said anything like that. And then, but the same, I almost consider it the wall equals Wallace. So those two cancel each other out. So the only way that I feel like that comes into situation is if they're going to penalize both the 24 and the 20 extra, and then you're looking at maybe Larson getting in the final four for two things that are basically causing Larson to be out.
Yeah.
Because Larson only missed by, I think, 6 or 7 points. So could NASCAR deem that because there was a wall behind Byron, he could have lost 7 points? And then with everything going on, I would not want to be NASCAR this week. Because the worst part is they had this case with Michael Walter racing a cutoff race at Richmond, going to playoffs in the old format with Martin Truex Jr. and Clint Boyer and all that stuff. And they put a rule in place. I think they called it the 100% rule. I believe it's still in place.
Yep.
And here, the thing is, with the wall of the Chevy, it looked good. Like, they looked like they were racing. They were behind Byron, but Byron would pull up in front of Chastain and he got a run, and, like, it looked racing. But, like, if they deem, like, Wallace fell back in a long time, so if he didn't have a flat tire, and, like, it's easy for NASCAR to go over there and check the pressures at the end of the race.
Yep.
Like, I guarantee they did. And if he didn't, then you got to look into another Toyota team with that. But then you got to look into Chevy if there was code words or stuff like that they didn't play on air. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Larson in the final five or a final four, or if they make it a final five.
Let's hope they not. I really hope they don't turn it into a
Jeff Gordon situation.
Yeah, NASCAR cannot have another situation like that, because they like everything that went wrong on that deal with the Clint Boyer and adding Gordon to it. No, like, in my opinion, whatever happens now, NASCAR should have been going back as well, because I saw just before we jumped on that NASCAR was investigating the Chevy deal as well. So we might see something Tuesday. I don't think to me a decision should be made tonight, in my opinion. But now they got to go back through tons of audio to really pinpoint if it was actually good.
Yeah, and they once again you go back to the SMT data of, like, was there, like, egregious lifting from the two Chevys behind Byron? Like,
yeah,
because, like, they can't drive through them. Like, that's over aggressive driving, right?
Yep.
And but at the same time, like, if they're clearly not putting an effort, then yeah. But
and by the sounds of it, it wasn't hard to pass today.
It wasn't hard to pass for certain drivers.
Yeah.
Like, if you watched, you'd still see, like, Hamlin fight off, like, even, I think it was actually Blaney. They fought for, like, 6 laps until Blaney finally, like, you're going up the hill and I'm making this turn. So, like, Blaney's car was just a lot better than Elliott's and Larson's at the end.
Yeah.
And he drove by him in traffic. But Byron's going to block for his life. He has to. That's his job.
Yep.
So if they prove that they're just racing to not drive into the back of him, they can't really do much. Even if they're talking on the radio, if they're driving how they would, like, the rest of the race in traffic, it's c'est la vie.
Oh yeah, it's NASCAR is gonna, and you don't want these storylines going into the final race of the year either.
No, and it was honestly a really good race at Martinsville. Like, at the last few years have been kind of a snooze fest. No one's been able to pass, and, like, it was actually a good race where you're able to sit there and watch, and all this stuff's going on. There's passing, there's lap cars, like, and it's like there's so much to watch. It's old school Martinsville.
So the tire that they brought was actually a good tire.
It was a good tire. Like, 20 laps made a difference.
Good.
So, like, they figured it out. It was just like the first race at Bristol. I love that they had to manage their tires. That brings racing back into it, puts the driver back into it. It's like, no, we got to put a harder tire so they don't burn out.
So this is the thing is because I don't watch any of the NASCAR races. I just listen to the Teardown with Jeff Gluck and Jordan Bianchi, Actions Detrimental with Denny Hamlin, and then Door Bumper Clear with Freddie, TJ, and Brett. Those are the only 3 podcasts I listen to understand what happened during the race. They were even saying they were going to bring even a softer tire to Bristol. Like for the second Bristol, that they were going to bring a even more softer tire. But from the test to the race, the tire wasn't the same. Like it was the same as like, it was the same tire that they did at the test. But when you add 40, 30 other cars, after you start laying down rubber, and guess what? The tire won't wear as much. Like that's what those guys were saying. Is the tire wasn't wearing as much. So once the rubber got put down, and by the looks of it, the rubber got put down, you can use kind of a lane and a half up from the rumble or from the curbing to turn, and that's usually where the right side tires would be. So they were actually using the left side tires at Martinsville, the groove where the right sides were, to help turn the car with the left side of the car as the race went on. By the looks of it,
Yeah, it was kind of like old school Martinsville, where they have that big rubber curb in the middle where they had to split it.
Yeah,
just so like the car didn't hop over it.
Yeah, I we don't really talk a lot of NASCAR on here, but I've said for quite a while that, and this, I've never said this on the podcast, but I feel if you give me an 850 horsepower motor, 900 horses, bring back a height rule, and freaking, what was it? Give me a smaller tire. You'll watch the racing get better tenfold. Because everyone's always talking about how the 90s was the best era. Well, what did they have in the 90s? A ride height rule, a ride height rule, a lot of horsepower, and a small tire.
I'm okay what did that even create? Keeping the no ride height rule with these new cars, because everybody knows how to get around the ride height rule nowadays. We can get around the ride height rule of the local short track now.
But half of them don't have, even for the late models, there's no ride height rule.
Yeah, but I'm talking about even like super stocks, mini stock. We know how to get around that.
Yeah.
Like, you can make it so the car actually works, so you're breaking more rules by getting around the ride height rule, where this way it's just level for everyone. So this way you don't have like a Rick Ware Racing having to go up the technology of Rick Hendrick race, like Hendrick Motorsports. Because if you just say no ride height, then they can do anything they want to keep it there.
Yeah.
So I think if you go back to that, you're going to have that big field disparity again, though, too, right?
But you don't want them all bunched together. You want the development. You want the development to actually go forward. But if all the cars are the same,
I like them being bunched together, but I want the driver to matter in the race.
But there's no passing.
But as I said, I want the horsepower. I like the smaller tire, but I'm just saying the ride height rule can stay. So make it so you have to manage your equipment like you do in the old days.
Yeah. Megan, what do you think? You've been kind of quiet on this topic.
I don't know. I got out of watching NASCAR like years ago. I just lost interest and I don't even follow it. I'm not even gonna lie. Like ever since Junior's been gone, I don't know. Even prior to that,
what are you talking about? Junior's driving the number 8 Budweiser car.
I know.
I do. Okay.
There's a diecast where me and John are both getting.
I've already. So as soon as I heard that they were bringing that back, I literally sent the Junior Motorsports shop for that specific stuff. And I said, since you and your mom have so much of a hard time finding stuff for me for Christmas, here you go. Pick anything. Make sure it's my size. Don't freaking chimp on me here and get like 2XL when I don't fit in that. Get me a diecast something. Because like this was my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
That Dale, the Bud, that specific 8 font.
Yeah.
2000 Texas race with him getting his first win and Senior grabbing him by the neck.
It's moments like it's such a cool feeling, and I kind of dislike that they couldn't bring back that E along the side from the from the back of the fender back.
I don't think Junior wanted it, because if you look, he kind of put it there, and you could tell it's there. But I think he said he didn't like it on the late model.
It may maybe not look good on the late model.
Junior's very picky with his paint jobs. And if you remember back to 2000, he didn't have the E.
No,
a
it
full
was just
stripe from the front bumper back. E came in like post Dale Senior passing
I
away.
think it was 2002, 2003 when that came in.
So I agree with it not having the E and having the proper stripes. Because that goes back
I would have done the stripes then.
Which
I would have, No, because it doesn't go from the very front. It only starts right at the fender.
Yeah, but the nose is different. That's nowhere near a Chevy Monte Carlo nose from 2000.
Of course it's not.
So you can't angle things properly the same. It looks proper.
Oh boy,
we're gonna start a whole new argument of people arguing whether that car looks proper or not. Dale Jr.
Let us know who you agree with. Comment below on YouTube. If you guys are listening to us on Spotify, there is a comment section. Let us know.
Or share it with Dale Jr. Let's get
or
his
share with
opinion.
if you're friends with Dale Jr., send him send a clip of this to him. We'd love to hear his feedback.
With Dale Jr. Holy, I want to be friends too.
Sorry, you're leaving the
show. You know what? I want to get into this. We're gonna take a break for a couple seconds here, and we're gonna have the final Driving with Hailey vehicle spotlight of 2024. Let's see what you got for us. Looking for your next ride? Well, Driving with Hailey has got you covered. Let's talk about the stunning 2023 Ford F-150 Lariat that just landed at Right Ride. Under the hood, you've got a powerful 5.0 engine ready to tackle anything. Inside, you're surrounded by luxury with heated and cooled front seats, a heated steering wheel, and leather upholstery. Need to stay comfortable on long drives? Check out the panoramic sunroof, rear heated seats, and wireless CarPlay to keep you connected and comfortable. Safety? You bet. With lane departure warning, blind spot indicators, and a tow mirror package for all your hauling needs, this truck has it all. And don't worry about your credit situation. Hailey Hill can get you into a new to you ride today, no matter what. Reach out to Hailey at 289-808-2828 by email at hhill@rightride.ca or connect on Facebook and Instagram. Get into your dream ride with Hailey today, only at Right Ride. And we're back, and I hope you guys go support Hailey. Make sure you guys follow her on Facebook and Instagram. If you guys are looking for a new vehicle, go check her. Go check her out. I got 3-4 more years. I'm technically under 3 years left. 4 years? Yeah, 4 years. So I got a little under 4 years left on my ownership of the van before I will go back and probably get a new vehicle from Hailey as well. She does amazing work, and we're thankful for her support here in 2024 of the podcast. We are talking, looks like she will be coming back next year, which is awesome, and we got a couple good, fun little things different that we're going to do next year. So hopefully we can cross some T's, dot some I's here in the next couple of weeks and have a full announcement. So thank you, Driving with Hailey and Hailey Hill for being the presenting sponsor for the podcast this year. Before we get any further, though, and I haven't sent any of these to Megan because I want some genuine reactions, because some of these questions are for us and for people specific. We're going to start with our final Tailored to You Meeting Design Fan Question Period of 2024. And of course, with it just being the three of us here tonight, we have a couple questions. Are y'all ready to answer them?
Y'all ready for this?
First one comes from William_Trillium. What are each of you most looking forward to in 2025? We'll start off with Megan.
I feel I'm manifesting another really successful year for my whole team. So I'm really looking forward to being able to, I'm not even going to say hopefully, I'm looking forward to stepping it up and running up there with everybody. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Brandon?
Well, I'm looking forward to getting back behind the wheel of the 38 Modified. At the same time, I'm also looking forward to continuing what we started this year and raising more money with charity races.
We're going to talk about that after our Taylor team meeting design fan question period. So we're not going to lose that thought. Um, Next year for me, I'm looking forward to getting back to the track, uh, continuing to grow Joe and Medium Promotions, and hopefully add a third program, not a podcast, but a third, I guess technically fourth, I guess, because Jacqueline's is part of our banner as well. Um, so we're gonna have probably a fourth program that Feeney and I are gonna work on. We're Feeney. We're gonna talk about it after because I
Is this
have
one
an
of the ones we
idea.
already talked about?
Yes,
All right, first off's Megan's. She won't kick us out.
I have a feeling I know what this is.
we'll
you
talk after. Um, but if we can get this fourth idea off the ground, I would absolutely love it, and I think it would continue to grow Joe Media Promotions and have a better understanding of racing in Ontario. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to another great year of racing in Ontario, and who knows, maybe we'll see myself, maybe Jacqueline behind the wheel for a race car next year.
Ooh.
Our next one, again from Instagram, and it's William_Trillium. What was each of yours favorite race event that you were at in 2024? And we'll start off with Brandon this time.
So the race event is, I'd have to honestly go racing Brighton and trying dirt for the first time. Even though it cost me a lot of money in a motor, to get to drive the iconic 1957 Dan Price Thunder car that was the original hot rod around a track that I had no business driving around in a timeline of putting the car together. Like, we had like 40 hours to put this car together from being lawn ornament to racing it on Saturday, and we got it done, and we're slightly competitive. Like, we didn't set this thing up at 2:30 in the morning. We're still putting clutch lines in. Had half the body off. We rolled it out to just kind of make sure all the gears worked, and I decided, screw it, let's put it on the trailer. It's good enough. It drove. Let's go. So,
Megan?
Yeah.
Favorite one I raced in would probably I don't even know. It was just a regular night, but whatever night I sat there and I battled with Jillian, because like that was my best night and I had fun. But my favorite one that I just attended was easily Eva's Destruction. That was good.
Oh, yeah. I think for me was September 14th. I got a chance to go up into the tower at Flamborough Speedway and help Kevin Small call my first ever race. And it was the Grindstone Landscaping Canadian Vintage Modifieds. And the only reason to this day, it'll always be my favorite event, is because I got to see one of my best friends go out there and finally win his first race in the club.
Mm-hmm.
He's been with them for 3 years. He has freaking worked hard. He has improved his equipment. He's done everything needed to get to the next level. And he finally got it done that night. And I was so happy to be up in the tower when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt in my mind, that is my most favorite event and most favorite race of 2024. Now we're gonna get into some fun questions.
Oh boy.
Rob Twitchett.
Oh, here we go.
For all of you. So, what's your favorite episode or guest? And we'll start off with Megan for this one.
If I say Rob, does Chase get a raise? I don't know.
We've had so many good ones.
Yeah. Like there's been a lot of good ones.
We've had 158 episodes. This is 159.
Like I will say having my dad on was fun. That was interesting. But like most recent, like Jillian's was I love talking to Jillian Hills. So I really loved her episode. But there's a lot of good ones. Like it's hard to
There's
pick like
we
one
can't.
because there's like a bunch of them going through my head right now that I'm like, I don't know who I would say.
Oh yeah,
There's a lot of good ones.
Brandon, you could be the Feeney call. It could be one that you've listened to on you've known
I,
about on this show.
I was gonna say like I've co-hosted like very few on this show so far, so it's very slim pickings. If we're going with co-hosting duties, I have to say when we got JBJ on here and he didn't know I was going to be on here,
Yeah,
and getting him to open up because like John, if you can get him to open up, is he's a great storyteller, and so it's like 3 episodes I've been part of. I think I'll take that one.
that's fair. Uh, frick. Episode 1, Logan Dillon. I that's one of my favorites because that was the first episode, and the cool part is as of recording this 4 years ago was the first ever time I sat down on this computer and this is the first ever time I sat down and recorded an episode of the True North Racing podcast. It was birthed 4 years ago on this very night with our first episode being recorded. So, to me that's a lot. Like we've 4 years, 159 episodes. You know what? I'll say this. One of my favorite episodes I get to do every year is the Champions episodes. Short little blips. And I hate to say I have a favorite, but I have a favorite one this year, and that was episode 1 of the Champions episode with we had Jacob Sutcliffe, we had Matt Young, we had Trevor Colliver, Mason Colliver. Like the conversations we had, hands down one of the best nights of recording, and we've had so many. Megan and I've had so many on this show. I've had so many on this show where I've walked away at the end and just gone stepped out of the room for 10, 15 minutes afterwards and go, holy crap, that was a fantastic conversation. Like there's some I will get up and like, that was a good talk. That was a great conversation. And some I go downstairs, I'm like, that was remarkable. The amount that people opened up to us and talked to us about stuff. What was incredible, and then of course having Adam Ross for episode 100.
That was a good one.
That was another great one, because we made it to 100 episodes. Wouldn't think I've made it past 15. I had 15 guests at one point, and I didn't think I was going to get past that. So the fact that we're still here 4 years later, 159 episodes in, I got us every single one of them. Essentially, because I've walked away from all of them with a good thought. Our next one. Oh, this one's just for me though, and this one also comes from Rob. He goes, "What do you know now that you wish you knew on episode 1?" Well, I guess I could say I wish I knew how to use a lot of these different apps to help make the appearance look better. Because then we would have gone to video from day one. It would have been zero question about it. We would have gone to video to day one, and I wouldn't have had to not struggle per se, but get it like this. What folks see on YouTube, it would have been one of those things that we could have gone to video, had all these fancy gadgets, I guess, from
all
day one.
From Vision 20 Studio.
Yeah.
I pay attention.
He does a lot for us. And then and you know what, Feeney, how about we ask you this though too, because you had the Feeney call.
I still have it.
You still have it.
It's just on the back burner because like what people don't realize, it's a lot of times a toast. So like if you're sitting here, we're talking sometimes. Even in like my podcast was shorter than your guys' a little bit. You're here for 2-3 hours talking, and then you're editing for another 2-3 hours, which after work there's 2 days burnt up. Then you're uploading, but then you're like looking to try to find guests, great questions, do your posters. And John for the longest time was doing posters for me and himself, and it was like I just stole his Canva and started making my own. But yeah, it's just a lot of work, and with I think there's 5 podcasts now in Ontario. It's just like I'll keep doing it if people want to come on, and that'll be my thing. But I'm not going to go hunt and chase when we can have them on either the True North Racing podcast or Stickers and Scuffs or stuff like that. Like, if people want to come on my podcast, I'll gladly crack out the episodes and do more. But yeah, so
How about we'll change. We'll switch up the question a little bit. From episode 1 of being a co-host on the True North Racing podcast to now, Megan, what do you wish you knew then? What you know now?
I don't know. I wish I would have I don't know if that really answers the question, but I wish I would have known more about other divisions outside of asphalt minis and piers and dirt thunders and minis, because you bring on a late model driver and I'm like, I know nothing about what you do. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's sometimes it's hard in especially if we don't know the person, like we know Feeney, he can come on and we can
she didn't know me the first time.
No, I know, but dude, you didn't know who I was. Let's not forget that you thought I was Johnny Morrison, who drove the Super Stock at
To
Sunset.
be fair, at least the same name.
Yeah.
I'm
is
John.
no other
He's
me.
Johnny.
He's been called John.
You know what? We're gonna have to get him on next year. We'll have to get him on next year as a guest if he's interested.
April Fool's Day, does that fall on a recording day or a release day?
I don't know. There's a possibility. We'll have to take a look for next year.
It'll be the Johnny Morrison Show.
Funny enough, April 1st next year is a Tuesday.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
I plan ahead.
Our final question from Rob. He goes, just to start some shit, who was your favorite driver in the 44 CVM? Now, there was Rob Twitchett, there was Adam Ross, and there was Connor Ross. Oh,
Not Rob Twitchett. That's how I'll answer that.
You know what? Here's the thing. It was hysterical seeing the transformation each week and trying to find out who was going to be driving the car.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say partially because of the height difference of each of them. You got Rob who's so short, then you got Connor who was somewhere in between them, and then Adam's just way up here. And you kind of look at them how do you each? Luckily, they got a system down where it's 15 minutes to move the seat around. So I'll say this: my favorite driver to watch in the 44 was Adam Ross. I will say that because I heard stories about Adam for years because the guy I crewed for in late models, David Elliott, he knew him. He drove for Dave. Adam drove for David at one point in the CVMs. And I just thought it was, there, and of course, Adam being the NASCAR Canada Series announcer, Oswego Speedway announcer, that's growing up. I also knew him as the announcer. I didn't know him as a racer. So it was really cool to see him get back behind the wheel and go racing again. Sorry, Rob, I gotta go with Adam on that one. Do you guys have any input on that?
I feel like my hands are tied.
The only time I watched CVMs this year, unfortunately, was not a great night for me. So it was just, I didn't really pay attention to who was in the car. I just kind of got Jay kind of kidnapped me most of that night. So, yeah.
Well, they haven't driven the 44 in the last couple of years here, and it just got rebranded as it is now the 85 from Lisa Barton. So Cam Thompson was actually supposed to run the car on championship night, but I think I don't know, but there may be some talks for next year. I don't know what the deal with that is.
I thought something was announced about that.
I think Cam's running the car next year.
Unless it was championship night announcement.
That's the only thing I don't know, right?
Yeah, like I don't want to say anything. But
Someone's driving in a CVM next year. We're not sure who it is.
Yeah. But that's going to conclude our Taylor to You fan question period. And of course, we got to thank everyone who submits questions each and every week. That with this one being the final one, you guys got to wait till February before we kickstart this again. We are going to have a whole winter off just to kind of regroup ourselves, take us some time away, and get more hyped, I guess, for the season ahead. Because we got things we got to work on behind the scenes before we can come back full swing next year. But thank you to everyone who submitted questions all year. Thank you to Taylor to You Media Designs for being the presenting sponsor for that segment of the show each week. It's been an absolute pleasure working with Taylor. And, you know, if you guys are looking for a fun little bottle, glass, cup, whatever you want to call this thing, she can hook you up. Tumblr, thank you guys. I'm an idiot. She can hook you guys up with custom ones. Go find her at Taylor to You Media Design on Facebook and Instagram, and order yours today. Oh man, guys, can't believe it. We're almost done. Episode 159.
That was 169.
It's 159. Nice try.
nice try.
I don't know. Like I swore you said 168 the other day. Like
no, dude. No, it's been 158 and 150. This is 159. I know my. And I swear, if I go back and listen, I said 168. I'm going to sound like an idiot now.
Go in the comment sections. If it sounded like John said 168, there's a good chance I just wasn't paying attention though when I was scrolling out for a moment.
There's a possibility of that.
There's a 95% chance.
With going into the final, or not even going final, I don't know what the hell was I going to talk about there?
The Jomo Media drivers get together next week?
Oh, thank you for bringing that up. Guys, next week, Saturday, it's not Sunday, Saturday, 7:10 is when we're going racing with a different kind of horsepower. This one's got 1. And the person weighs way less than me. I probably weigh about the size of 3 jockeys. We're going to go to the horse track in Milton, Campbellville, whatever you want to call it. Mohawk Racetrack. We're gonna go watch some pony racing, have some fun. Bet Jacqueline and I are thinking because Jennifer Hatch is coming, and she mentioned that they think they have a buffet there.
Yeah.
So I may go up earlier and go to the buffet.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the buffet.
Why are you drinking Dr. Pepper Zero again?
I gotta watch my blood. Shut up.
Like Garrison says, it's about moderation. You can still have this stuff in moderation.
I'm gonna flush my system out the night before, not eat anything from lunch on Friday to dinner on Saturday, so that way I make up for it.
So, Jacqueline, when you watch this, if he eats on Friday next week, send us videos of like when he cried earlier last year.
I didn't cry.
We have picture proof.
There's no crying.
My eyes were watering. I was wiping that out. Yeah, you were crying.
There was no tears. There was no crying involved. When you guys told me that I was going getting behind the wheel of a race car, that was not happening. You guys are assholes.
But you love us.
There was no crying.
Just saying, it's really hard to surprise John. Like, super hard to surprise John. Me and Jacqueline pulled it off. B, that left him speechless. And C, he had to wipe the water out of his eyes, but says he wasn't crying.
It was raining in the van.
I was just excited, okay? I was just excited. Yeah, it is. First of all, it is really, really tough to surprise me, and you guys are able to pull that off some freaking how.
Captain Chaos over here.
Yeah, we got to work on some for next year, buddy. That's for sure.
I mean, we know a guy.
We know a few people, but honestly, with the season coming to an end, it's going to be nice to be able to take a few weeks off here. Because we're not really taking a few weeks off. Like Megan on Tuesday, we're gonna when you guys are listening to this, we're going to be recording the last episode of the driver's seat for 2024 and the first episode of 2024. And I still got to
first, your last.
Yeah, literally, it's going to be your first and your last of 2024. But you know what? You guys are lucky right now because I have not come up with checkers or records questions yet.
You say lucky like he's not going to ask me questions for it, and that's going to really make it worse.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm going to work on that.
Screwed either way.
You know what? That I still love that section. It's not because I make you and Kate look stupid. Like, that's not my goal. That is not my goal at all. It's just something I thought was fun.
It is fun.
It brings racing history to the topic and lets people know about racing history.
And you know, I love racing history, and again, that kind of leads into something that Feeney and I are going to be working on. Hopefully, maybe next Sunday if we can figure it out. If you're available, Feeney, we will talk after.
Yeah, I have a bowling tournament Saturday, so
we'll talk. We'll figure it out. But no, going into in the next few weeks here, what are you guys going to do over the off season to either prepare for 2025, or are you guys going to relax for a little bit, or what's kind of your guys' game plans?
Megs, you go first.
Well, my car's good. Like, we're doing a few parades, so I have to wait. I want to make my number bigger because I think it's too small. So that's going to wait until like next year. But as of today, we, for some reason, took on the job of helping somebody else build a pier stock. So that's coming next weekend.
Can you just like build me and John pier stocks and we have like Joe Movidi races?
Honestly, at this point, we might as well just consider building pier stocks for people because like we have enough of them. We've done enough of them.
But think of the good we could do as a team. Or
Right?
if we get stuck as at chain races, all three of us at full throttle.
Oh. Stick me in the middle car. Please.
No, you have to be in the back car.
No.
Because me and Megan can then whip you around.
No, the middle gets the one who's whipped around the most.
No, because at full throttle, both cars have brakes. So the front two cars stay in line. The other one just starts rolling behind everybody.
No, the middle car doesn't have brakes.
Yes, the middle car has brakes.
It's just got steering.
At full throttle, the middle car has brakes. I've heard it because I heard...
God damn it. Stick me in the back then. Stick me in the back. I want to flip. That's all I want to do.
Phrasing, John. Phrasing.
Just stick me in the back of one of those things. I just want to flip. That's all.
But yeah.
Oh my god.
See, I feel like if we put Megan in the middle that has steering and brakes, she'll be like the reasonable one of the two of us.
You're gonna see me just...
You're just gonna be like up on the wall. You're Ross Chastain.
I'm gonna be blocking the entire track. Are you kidding me? You guys are gonna go like try to go low, and I'm gonna nope, we're going high.
I'll be in the middle like, what are we doing?
Have you ever seen Rick Mercer do that?
No.
So there's a Rick Mercer report when he did a chain race at full throttle. How is like history god yourself didn't know Rick Mercer was at full throttle?
I probably knew, but I didn't think about it. I'm looking it up right now. Look at the steam
coming from his ears as he's trying to look for it. He also did a demolition derby too.
I gotta see this. Rick Mercer goes drag racing. That's the only thing that I see right now. Yep, that's definitely not it. Jesus. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for that later because nothing's popping up. The only thing that popped up is
RMR Train of Death.
RMR Train of Death.
I think I just found it. Yeah.
John's over there at Google and we find it both on our cell phones.
September 5th, 2009.
I sent it to you, John. Don't worry.
Oh my god! Look at that. Isn't that your old car there, the 35?
Who?
Me?
Yeah, Megan.
I don't know if we would have sold that car after, like it would have been after 2009. But I
Oh,
was just
would have
gonna
been?
say that fun fact: our old Thunder car is a train race car.
Yeah.
Doesn't
And we,
Death Wheeler have that?
I don't remember who it is.
That looks like so much fun.
I think I would try it to say I did it.
I think John just peed himself.
I love it so much. Like, you guys have no idea. Like
The poor people watching right now have no context. So if you're watching this after you're done watching the episode,
we're
Google
gonna
RMR Train of Death.
we're gonna
RMR.
include that. We're gonna include it in the comments section on the podcast areas so that we you guys can go
Right
check
there.
it out yourselves, because I think that is absolutely so cool. And for anyone who doesn't know what a train race is, that's when you stick 3 cars in a line, all held by chains, and the front one only has gas. The middle one apparently only has brakes and steering, and the back one has steering and no brakes.
No, it has brakes too.
Oh, I'm just not going to use brakes. You can stick me anywhere. I'm just not going to use brakes.
That's why I want to be the lead car, because I want to be able to throttle.
Yeah, that's fine. Go use the throttle. Megan can step on the brakes. I don't want to control anything. I just want to steer.
You know what? Let's just take a steering wheel off.
Nah.
Let's just
No.
not give John anything.
let Jesus take the wheel.
John gets nothing when you're playing video games with your younger sibling and you give him the controller that's not even connected. He just thinks he's doing something.
He's gonna be like Leo LaBera at the friggin' backwards race, jamming to Shania Twain.
Man, I feel like a woman.
Dude. Oh my god!
You know what's hilarious? You'll see John kick the door open in the middle of that. What's the yellow flag for? This
Hold on.
dumbass kicked the door open of his
Hold
car.
on. No. If Brandon, I think one of the best times was actually at my wedding, and it wasn't Soldier Boy either. There, Megan.
Mm-mm.
It was when the DJ started playing "Man, I Feel Like a Woman."
Oh.
Me and my brother were in the other room, like we were in the dining area, and we literally heard, "Let's go, girls." He looked at me, I looked at him. We bolted. We ran onto that dance floor, and we just.
If you would have ran in our race that fast, you would have won.
I need to lose a few more pounds.
Or just have the right motivational song.
You know, I needed my Beats headphones to be there. So yeah.
Ooh, can we drive the train race listening to the Techno Train song?
Oh my god, we've gone off the rails, and I freaking love it.
Did you say rail joke because train race?
Yes.
But
Very punny, sir. Very, very punny.
I try to be. Honestly, like, there's been so many good memories this year from all over. You know, doesn't matter what track you went to. There's some great emotional wins. There's some great personal wins, and there's always some good wins amongst friends. And of course, I think we still had one of the best ones running on the front stretch of Flamborough. But you know what? I still want to see a bike race happen between drivers. And I will put up $100 for the drivers, and whoever wins, they get to pick the charity of their choice for the $100 to go to.
I'll throw.
Can we make it like small bikes with training wheels though?
Yeah.
Like, let's not give them full size bikes. Let's
No.
make this
I'll
hilarious.
give you an extra 100 if you
Tricycles?
win on a trike.
Oh
Oh, those motorized tricycles.
no!
The
No!
drift trikes.
No, we're not getting those.
Why not?
That'd be straight up the little red metal, like.
No, no. You have to pedal it.
Yeah.
It's not the electric ones. It's not
No.
the gas power ones. No,
Like the old school.
Yeah, the
little-
old school little red and yellows. Just
Yeah.
Oh, but that can only be okay. So that if you're gonna make them do it on those, it has to be from the turn four to like how we did at Flamborough,
Yeah.
from the restart line to the
Or
start
like
finish line.
when you enter the track, line them up side by side.
That's what I'm talking about. Is put them there, like we did for the racing that we
Yeah.
did at Flamborough.
They get a little downhill run that way.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. And again, money would go to a good charity. It would go to a good cause. Um, you know what? I'm putting up $100, and if we could, if you, hold on. Okay,
Can
so
I
here's
protest Caitlin riding a tricycle? She's the right size to ride one of these.
Yeah.
After getting in her car this year, that is not fair.
okay. So I got to agree. Okay, so here's my thinking then. If you're gonna run a full size bike, you have to start at the start finish line, and you have to complete a lap. If you're willing to ride a little tricycle, you get to start at turn 4 and race to the start finish line. I think that's only fair.
I'll give the ones in the full size bike the scoring tower in turn 1.
Like starting them at the scoring line.
No, the scoring.
Dude,
You know where the tower
yeah.
is, the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can start there, and then that way, because I feel like the trikes could get there before they do a third mile.
Okay. Do we need to do a test session on this?
I was gonna say we just have to test it out. I'll
All
bring
right, John, you on a trike? I'm on a full size bike.
Why me on a trike, dude? I ain't
Because-
gonna fit.
I bet you I'm faster on a full size bike than you.
I highly doubt that.
Yeah, I'm faster running.
That's different.
It's
I
pedal and
could
legs.
pedal like the wind.
So can I. I used to race bikes.
Oh my
I
god.
can bring a kid that actually races bikes too if you want, but he's like 120 pounds soaking wet.
Let's not.
Yeah, if you want to be embarrassed equally. All right, how about this? We'll race once. I'll be on the trike, you be on the full size, and then we'll switch for a fair comparison.
Fair.
Mhm.
And we can start at different points to get a good estimate of what could happen.
Yeah. Well, we'll start at the same points. You start in the corner, I'll start at the scoring tower. If
Yep.
we meet close and then we switch out and then you start there and I start there, and it's a big gap, well, we got to kind of go with the. You got to understand, most of these guys at Flamborough, like J.R. Fitzpatrick on a full size bike is going to hustle ass.
That's true. I don't know. We'll have to talk to John Caselli and figure out a date and go over there with some bicycles and tricycles and test out this theory.
Ooh, shopping cart race.
You know what? Okay, I love the idea of what Sunset did with the Power Wheels.
Mm.
I would love more creativity and bring back the soapbox racing.
Well,
Yeah.
in Peterborough, we still have the barrel races where you push a barrel. Like a kid's in the barrel. Well, I said there's a kid in the barrel and there's a kid pushing it. Or a driver pushing it.
I don't think I've ever seen that, but I want to see it now.
Well, we put Fat Mike in one barrel.
Oh, God.
It was interesting getting him out. But,
Oh, I'm sure it was. I'm sure there was a lot of butter.
well, you know that sound effect it makes when something seals perfectly? Mike says it made that sound when he went in. John knows exactly what I'm talking about. That's the worst thing. But anyway, so we like flipped
Oh
the
my
barrel
God.
on its side. And he had to like crawl out and shimmy out. But we've also played fat guy in a little car with Mike too, so he's used to it.
You know what? Whatever works, right? Oh my God. We're gonna have to plan a day. I'll go out to Volt or something like that and go racing for sure. It's gonna be a long off season. We're gonna have a lot of things going on in the backgrounds to get ready for 2025. What are I kind of want to know this. What are you guys looking forward to on, Megan going back to the driver's seat? What are you most looking forward to?
I'm gonna be honest, I like doing the True North Racing podcast, but I get awkward interviewing people when I don't really know them. I enjoy this even more, just sitting and just talking racing.
Yeah.
No real set talking about a specific person. And I find that's what we did on the driver's seat. So I'm excited to do that. I just like to talk about racing. to whoever will listen. So
You get to go back to your roots kind of thing with how we started this whole deal.
yeah,
Yeah, that's fair enough.
and
Feeney, where do you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm weird about this stuff. Like I tried to get rid of everything that had to do with 2021 for me, but at the same time, it's like this one little piece coming back. I feel like maybe it'll bring me full circle
Yeah,
in a
and
sort.
and we've grown. All of us have grown so much since
Yeah.
then. So it's gonna be fun. Feeney, what about yourself? What are you most looking forward to in 2025 in regards to jumping onto the True North Racing podcast?
Probably not having to spend like 6 hours editing everything. This is gonna be great. I just get to show up, ask all the questions, look like an idiot like I normally would, and make John do all the work. This is gonna be great.
You're just the talent here now. You're not.
I wouldn't go as far as say talent.
I wouldn't say talent either, but you're something.
Yeah. All that's left. Megan's left. You got to fish somebody else out of the Jomo Media bracket.
No, I'm excited to see what 2025 brings, and I'm looking forward to going back to a producing role with the driver's seat because that was always so much fun. We're going to be changing recording nights for both shows compared to what we used to do, so that way it's I guess more we can get the driver's seat out more on a Monday, so that way it's not halfway through the week when we're trying to talk about the last week or Thursday, and we're not talking about the previous week. We can advance to the next week, kind of thing. So, we're gonna change recording nights for the driver's seat to Sunday nights, and we're gonna change the recording nights for the True North to Monday nights.
Make that real pain for me.
Why?
Because I race on Monday nights.
What time?
Like from 7 till like 10.
Oh, I guess we gotta do it Tuesday then.
But you release on Tuesday.
Huh?
You release on Tuesday.
We changed it to Thursday. What's the problem?
Oh. All right, so
either that or we have a strict timeline of like we do everything on Sunday night. Oh.
Chaos for John.
We'll figure it out. That is for sure.
He just realized how bad of an idea he just suggested. Because doesn't Jacqueline also record on the weekend?
No, we kind of record whenever, so she could record tomorrow night, Tuesday night, whatever. Tuesday night just means more. As soon as we're done, I gotta edit hers so it's out for Wednesday.
Like I picked Tuesday on my recording just because that's kind of the night you're waiting for parts for your race car anyway. So
that's fair enough.
So scientifically, I kind of figured it out when I was doing it. Saturday you race the car. Sunday you go over the car and do your once over. Monday you order all the parts when the shops are open. Tuesday you're already kind of done doing the things you can do, and you're waiting on the parts to show up Wednesday.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
Or if you don't have a shop like me, you're just using every time possible.
Yeah. Before we're gonna wrap up here in just a few minutes of our recording, but
Probably
I do.
Not.
Yeah, we are.
We have so much to still talk about.
Okay. So no. Well, let's get into that then, because we said we were gonna wait till afterwards, and when it's afterwards, Feeney, we talked about this before the show. What is your idea for 2025?
2 ideas. So,
oh boy.
It's the same topic. So people that kind of followed me this year in 2024 knew I jumped in the Black Magic racing car and the CGC car, and we raised some money for the Canadian Cancer Society and the Special Olympics Welland Division. I think we raised like $3,000, and overall they did like $5,000 between the two of them so far, which was still some things to do. So in 2025, I'm going to try with my Oscar schedule to work with teams if they still want to do charity events and raise money for charity events. I know, John, you do the same thing, and Megan, I'm sure you jump in a car to do the same thing.
100%.
Just trying to give the goodness of racing not even more limelight, but show that racing is good for the communities and stuff like that. We can use our stature in racing to help these charities and stuff like that. No different than you would see in the States or see Dale Jr. and stuff run. Which brings to the second idea of, I talked to Jomo a month ago, I think it was, about having a Jomo Media drivers like charity challenge or charity championship of picking, say, 5 charities that we want to affiliate with Jomo Media, that will like vet and research and make sure all the money goes to like the right places with the charities, because there's charities for everything nowadays.
Yep.
But we'll pick our favorite 5 between the 3 of us and have teams kind of register to do it, like not charge them to register, but just kind of sign up. And whatever team of our Jomo driver raises the most money is going to get a trophy or a accolade of some sorts. I'm not going to name what I want to get because, well, John already knows what it is.
I know what it is.
But yeah, I just gotta find the money to buy that what it is, because they're not cheap.
If anyone wants to sponsor it, contact Feeney or myself.
Yeah. But anyway, so basically what we're going to try to do is you have drivers such as like Keaton Pipe, Morgan Moore, Black Magic Racing, CGC, all these teams raising quite a bit of money for charity. And I think as a Jomo Meteor driver, it's not necessary. You don't have to do it, but I don't think there's anyone that's going to be like, okay. And I'm not saying donate your winnings and stuff like that, but you could sit there and be like, if we have a charity race, like you have Megan or whatever jump in their car, you can have some like donations come in for those
sponsor
days.
laps and stuff like that.
But there's so much as a racing community we can do to help our communities that we race in.
Yep.
Which then it's going to be not free advertising, but all of a sudden, all these charities are going to start bringing spotlight to the racing. So we want racing to survive. How do we do that? We bring more spotlight to racing. How do we bring more spotlight to racing? We help our communities.
Yep.
And John knows a couple other ideas I've thrown his way.
Yep. It's just trying to get them done.
Like, well, it's no different. Like, I'll say it here, so like John doesn't get crap for it. I talked to John about starting kids clubs.
Yep.
Like a Jomo Kids Club. If we could figure out, and this is something we need sponsorship for. 100% me and John agreed we need sponsorship to do this. If we can get not even underprivileged children, but maybe kids that wouldn't be able to come to a racetrack normally, be able to basically make it a field trip where we have supervisions and stuff like that. They get to come to the track, get some food, stuff like that, take them back home, stuff like that, with their parents. You'll get tracks. Kids, once they get hooked, will keep coming back and back and back. And it's just, there's nothing in that division in Canada right now.
So funny enough you say that, because I've talked to Trevor Culliver and Ray Morneau, and I'll say it now because all the episodes are out. So both of them, they do a pack the track night at Delaware Speedway. Next year, I've already pledged to both of them that we are going to purchase 4 tickets from each of them. And I'll even throw in an extra $50 food voucher for them. And they are to pick a deserving family, an underprivileged family, or someone who may not be able to get to the races often, to take their family, go hang out at the track, and they will also have $50 voucher to go. I'll give an extra $50 to them, so that they can also grab some food at the track as well. And that way, someone who may not be able to go is deserving of it, and sounds like there's already some, talks about who could it be and stuff like that, which is good. But when they start announcing that for next year, I'm jumping in, and we're going to put in purchasing 4 tickets for each of them, plus $50 food voucher to both events, to help bring a family out to the races that may not get a chance to.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, I'll see if I can work something with Peterborough too, and because I talk with them most regularly.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm going on tour with Oscar. Maybe I can work a deal with Dave Gameforth or something like that, and we'll have like an Oscar thing where we pick like family at each track or something like that. And I'll see if I can sponsor a couple tickets a race or something like that. And, but we'll see what we can do. But it goes back to like the 6,000 ideas that we've had between the 3 of us, and it's. The
list gets longer, but I can't get them all done.
Well, we got to figure out what we're able to execute between the 3 of us and what we're able to execute financially. Like, we would love to spend millions of dollars and make racing the biggest it's ever been in Canada, but none of us are that rich.
Yeah.
Like,
who knows? I may have won the lottery last night. Let me go check.
Nope.
Nope, I'm still a loser.
Did you check the ticket too?
Yeah, I checked the tickets. I'm still a loser. Oh well, we'll try again this week.
I won $20 in a free play.
I won $100 one time.
Thanks.
The most I've won was on Super 7 before it was Lotto Max. Was like $8,000 or something like that for like 5 plus the bonus or something like that.
Oh yeah. I won something at least. I won a $649
What'd you win? Free ticket?
free ticket.
You gotta buy this week's ticket.
I got it. Yeah, but I still got to buy Encore. That's the only problem.
Unless you won on Encore, then it's a free ticket with Encore.
No, you don't buy the Encore. You have to. Even when you get a free ticket, you got to purchase the Encore. So like, but I purchased it through the app, so you can't even go in. Like the winnings have already been credited to your account, so that the ticket has already been given to you. So it's not like I can go in and go purchase an Encore for it too.
See, I buy them mostly from stores, but like I was at Maple driving home from a friend's house, and I seen there was a kiosk. There was like a digital kiosk. I'm like,
yeah,
huh, this seems really weird. Let's try buying tickets from this. And I
so
won
cool
from
though.
it. I won from it, so I'm like, guess when I'm going to buy a ticket from next.
Why not?
If it won $20, it could win 20 million. You don't know.
Exactly. Oh boy.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know what to ask for to buy a lottery ticket, and I had to ask my mom, and I have it written in my notes of what I have to ask for because I don't understand.
Lotto 649 or Lotto Max with Encore.
I literally have it quoted 5 lines in the Encore for $6.49. And I don't know if it makes any sense. That's what I was told to say. So I walk up and I say it.
So I used to play lottery way more than I should.
Yeah.
But when you have disposable money and you don't have a race car at the time, you need something to spend. So I used to buy the Super Pack every week, which was like both Lotto Max draws, both 649 draws. Like it was like $60 worth of tickets, and yeah. Now it's like $20 for the tickets a week. That's the most I go.
Yeah, I get there. It's what is it? Through the app. It's what is it called again? It's a specific draw kind of thing where you can get like Lotterio, Lotto 649, Daily Grand, and Lotto Max or something like that, all for like $16.
Yeah, they call it like the trial pack.
Oh, is that what they call it?
Yeah, I seen it on there, but yeah, there was a Super Pack I bought in like actual person. That was
Trying to see if I can find it. Oh, great! The app just crashed on me.
Hey, look, it drives like us race car drivers too. It crashed.
It crashes.
By the way, Megan,
we crash?
Why are you drinking water in your final episode of the True North Racing Podcast?
I know, that's kind of... I'm not going to lie, I don't have any Dr. Pepper.
Wow. This is exactly why she's getting kicked off this podcast.
We're not mad. We're just disappointed. I could have you could have just dropped by. I have 14 different 6-packs underneath the stairs here.
Jesus Christ.
Well, plus what's in the fridge.
You say drop by like I'm not like an hour and a half away.
You're like 3 hours away, I think.
But there's race car and derby car parts here.
That's true.
I'm just glad my voice has come back.
That's a good thing.
Honestly, halfway through Fall Brawl, the Demolition Derby, I lost my voice. So it sounded like, Mickey Mouse trying to call derbies. So, because
could you imagine Mickey Mouse calling a Demolition Derby?
Oh boy!
Oh boy! Look at that hit!
But yeah, it was chaotic.
Oh my God! Jesus Christ!
Yes.
This is why we're not allowed. This is why we're not allowed out together.
We're not even out together.
I know. Even
when
we're
so much worse.
Right?
After you say that, we don't all get told to behave when we're all hanging out together.
That's true. We all gotta okay, we gotta behave now. We're in public. Oh boy. Well, guys, it's been an absolute blast having y'all on for episode 159 of the True North Racing Podcast. I hate to see the season end, but it's gonna be nice to be able to go back, over the next couple months here, relax, regroup, refocus, and get geared up for 2025. I know I shouldn't be upset because it's not like you're going anywhere, Megan. But like I am upset. Like I'm for real. Like I'm not sugarcoating this. Like
Yeah.
you've been on for freaking at least over 100 episodes at this point.
It feels
And,
weird.
right? Like
she was here for episode 68 when I was first on.
Yeah, she was. I think it was 50 something.
Yeah, I don't even remember who
I said my episode was 68 when I first came on, and you guys were already there. Because Megan was supposed to actually meet me at Motorama for stickers and stuff, because we talked about bone stock racing through COVID and stuff like that. And then I ended up meeting you, and Megan bailed because she wasn't feeling well. Anytime we have a group meeting, Megan all of a sudden is sick.
That time of year is horrible for me. Like I don't, knock on wood, I don't usually get sick this time of year. It's like that springtime, like
watch Friday. I can't make the event Saturday. I don't feel well.
Right. I feel like I just jinxed myself. Like,
yeah, she's been on since like episode 60.
That's horrible luck for you, Megan. Like you get 7 episodes in and then you get this guy.
Yeah, because episode 58, you guys were on. Like, we're episode 54-ish, I want to say. Like, I'm looking back to see when we talked about introducing you guys. But, like, I'm not seeing anything. We had Kyle Steckley on. That was April.
Okay, I remember being on for Connor Ross and Cody Coburn and Chris Pendlebury.
But you weren't on for Lane.
Dales, though. Dales, I remember submitting questions, but I don't think I recorded. I feel like Connor Ross's was the first one I ever jumped on with you.
So must have been, yeah, because
it is, yeah. Okay,
we ushered in a new era.
Huh. That's crazy.
So episode 56, and we're at episode 59, and you've missed. 159. We're on episode 159.
I was like correcting Jomo's math just to make him feel grumpy.
Like you've come on here for such a long time. It's crazy.
I didn't realize
like
it's been
2 years.
It's like Megan's
2 years on the show.
It's like her 100th episode,
right? A little bit shy. We've missed a few.
Yeah.
Well, so if she started with 56 and it's 59, she's only missed like 3 or 4.
At least a half dozen.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna stick it out to episode 100 for you, and then
go. Before we sign off, and I have to do a whole nice long little rant here, thanking all of our sponsors for the show and for Joe Media. Is there anyone you guys would like to personally thank for being on the podcast, for your racing careers, anything like that? Now's the time to thank them. So we'll start off with Megan for that.
Okay. Well, first I have to thank John for bringing me on here, because like never in a million years did I think I would have a place to just talk about racing. So that's crazy to me. So I thank you for that. And I got to thank my dad for everything that he does for me with racing, and my brother. I can't leave out Chase. And my sponsors, McTier Water, AutoCate, Graphic Design Studio.
Can't forget your sister.
Yeah. Lift the Visor, Jomo Media, and Stickers and Stuffs.
Feeney, how about you?
So I want to thank everyone that's popped on to sponsor not only my podcast, but our podcast now. And I got to thank everyone that's starting to come on board next year for 2025. But mostly, I got to thank the people that shoved me in cars this year, even though I said it was probably a bad idea to put me in cars. But I'm just grateful to go up and race with like the CGC boys up there, Pops Campbell and stuff, get put up for the weekend where I pretty much wasn't allowed to pay for anything. And it was just ultimate blast to be able to wheel that car to third, which awesome because it was 500 pounds heavy. We literally got laughed at the tech scales. But big night for those guys because it's the first time that car's ever podiumed in a feature, I think. Same as racing with Tim for Black Magic Racing with the first charity event we did this year. And it was a last second deal put together. The first race, the car wasn't good. I told Tim that there was a couple issues with it, and I was gonna not race the second race because I didn't want to break his car. And he goes, "Just send it. I don't care." He goes, "If you feel fine with the car, just send it." He goes, I don't care how that car looks after this race." So I pinned her to the boards. I went to the outside like I normally do, and I think we finished 7th, fighting for a top 5 and a couple bad restarts. But yeah, we just thankful for everyone that donated to the charities, and hopefully 2025 leads to bigger and better things, and maybe a couple more Democross wins too.
You never know. And of course, we've hit the final one where we got to thank all of our sponsors. We got a ton of them this year on with Joe Media, and I can't thank all of them enough. Of course, we got to thank Driving with Hailey for being the presenting sponsor of the podcast, for coming on board, which was awesome how it came about, because it was just, we had Cam on the stage at Motorama, and I jokingly threw out, I'm like, "Hey, we got a podcast you can sponsor." And she was like, "Message me, we'll talk." And sure enough, we talked. It didn't take long for her to agree to being the presenting sponsor, and it's been an absolute blast having her on and getting to showcase all these different vehicles. And like I said, there's a good possibility she'll be back next year, and we got some great opportunities and ideas that we're floating around for that. Jay Pepin from JTM Racing and Peps Pro Painting, who was our Day at the Races vlog sponsor this year. Jay has been an absolute integral part to Joe Media Promotions, believing me from behind the scenes, telling me when I'm wrong and what I should be doing better. And, you know, I appreciate all the tough love he gives me to, because he wants to see us do better, wants to see me do better. And I can't thank him enough for jumping on board and believing in the product we're putting out. Can't thank him enough. Lisa Barton with LLB Racing, she came on board. She helped us get us a third GoPro for us, and thankfully she was able to jump on board, and so we were able to, especially when we had the two race day, the race day vlog with JTM with both them having cameras, it made our job a little bit easier. Then of course we got to thank all of our sponsors for the podcast as well, with like Graphic Design, for bringing us our guest segment each week, Pets Pro Painting for bringing us our opening segment, Tailored to You Media Designs for bringing us our fan question period, the Feeney Call podcast, or Feeney Call Photography, sorry, Lift the Visor, Valhalla Mobile, Georgetown Printing, 19 Marketing, Wilds Printing, T&B Mobile Wash, True House Sports, Stickers and Scuffs podcast for everything they do, and again, they support Joe Media a ton on the backside, and I can't thank Cam K great enough for again believing in the product we're putting out. And of course, everyone who tunes in every week. Our biggest listener, I feel like, is William_Trillium on Instagram. Their guy has always has a question for us, and it's awesome. And can't thank everyone enough who submits questions, who listens to us, shares us. Nicole Givens, especially when we have a bone stock driver on, she shares it to the Ontario Bone Stock Group. I can't thank everyone who shares the show and, comments and lets us know what you guys like, what you don't like. I take criticism very well. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about the show to us, because it's such a big part of, we want to improve. And the only way we're going to improve is if we hear the feedback that other people maybe not want to hear. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. That's why the comment sections are always open on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the podcasting platforms, wherever you can drop a comment. We'd love to hear, because we want to know what you guys like, what you don't like. If we're talking to the right people, who should we get on, stuff like that. So, thank you everyone who supported us for season 4 of the True North Racing podcast presented by Driving with Hailey. Make sure you guys follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you guys get your podcast platforms from with True North Racing Podcast. And make sure you guys hit up joemedia.ca all winter. We're going to have a bunch of stuff coming through. There's write-ups, stories, stuff like that going on starting in the next couple weeks here. We're going to have a lot going on. You know, I'm producing my wife's new podcast about paranormal. So if you guys are interested in stuff like that, make sure you guys go hit up Whispers from the Other Side podcast, available on all major podcasting platforms as well. And we got the driver's seat coming out this week. First episode since 2021. Going to be lots of fun. So, but yeah, thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Megan, so much for joining us tonight for the final time in 2024. I'm John Morrison. We'll see you all you guys in February. See you guys.
Going into overdrive. Drop the flag, then the car zooming by. Hey, True North Racing. Let's go.